They placed me at the kitchen table during my brother Jason's wedding reception, and I smiled politely. 2 weeks later, I ended our family company's $1 million contract with his in law's business. Blood might be thicker than water, but disrespect brings consequences they never expected. I still recall the shock on their faces when they figured out what I'd done. If you've ever felt disrespected by family who should support you, you might get why I had to act. Before I share how it all went down, I'd love to hear where you're watching from today. This family mess taught me key lessons about defending myself that transformed my life. If you like true tales of family betrayal and sweet revenge, hit subscribe and like this video. Believe me, you'll want to follow how this unfolds. I wasn't meant to be the star in my family. That spot belonged to my brother Jason. From childhood, our home roles were obvious. Jason was the favorite, and I had to push harder. 41, Jason had that natural charm that drew people in. Tall, with a warm smile and smooth style, he owned any room he entered. Me? People called me practical and reliable, basically dull. Our family firm, Matthews Construction, began with my father Thomas 35 years back. From simple starts, I turned it into a top construction outfit in the Northeast. After my Wharton MBA, I returned home, skipping big New York jobs. The business needed money fixes, and I knew I could deliver. Eliza's great with numbers, my mother Margaret often said, waving it off like my finance skills were a fun gimmick, not what rescued our company repeatedly. Jason was vice president of client relations, but his real input at Matthews Construction was tiny. He'd show for rare client meals, wow partners on golf outings, and claim credit for deals I'd carefully built. I pulled 60-hour weeks as CFO, handling contracts, finances, and keeping us in the black every year. "Your brother lands the deals," my father said when I noted the unfairness. "People like him. That's as vital as your backstage work." Backstage. That term stuck with me. It defined my spot in the business and family. Life got messy when Jason got engaged to Vanessa Cordwell. Cordwells were wealthy elites, with Richard Cordwell's firm, Cordwell Properties, dominating luxury real estate in our area. For 3 years, Matthews Construction had a sole deal with Cordwell Properties, worth millions yearly. I'd sealed the latest renewal myself, getting us solid profits. "Isn't it great?" my mother beamed at the family dinner announcement. "Our family's uniting." "It's a business tie, too." I smiled and nodded, but unease hit my gut. Vanessa seemed nice at work events, yet her gaze on us felt scheming, like we were her next fix-up. "We need you in more social scenes, Eliza," my mother added while cleaning. With the Caldwell link, no more spreadsheet hiding. "You might find someone." 32 and single, my mother slipped that in every chat over 5 minutes. The message? My career wins didn't count without a husband and kids. "I'm not hiding, Mom. I run the company," I said, hiding my irritation. "We need profits." "With the Caldwell boost, maybe less work for you," she replied, patting my cheek like I was a kid. Jason helped us all. Driving to my apartment that night, I sensed a big shift in family vibes. I cared for Jason despite his edges and perks. But the wedding would alter things we couldn't predict. I had no clue how spot on I'd be or how ready I wasn't for the next part. The half year before Jason and Vanessa's wedding showed me quiet put-downs. Joyful news became a chain of slights I fought to overlook. Kicked off at the engagement bash on the Caldwell grounds, a huge waterfront spot that dwarfed our home. I came solo in a fancy navy dress, feeling okay until Vanessa's mom Caroline scanned me and said, "You look so professional." That night, folks kept calling me Jason's sister in the family biz, ignoring my CFO role that doubled revenue in 5 years. I'd smile, explain, then see boredom as talk jumped to wedding stuff or Caldwell's new project. Grabbing air on the terrace, I heard words that chilled me. "The Matthews show promise, but fix that small-town vibe," Vanessa's mom told someone. The sister especially. "All work, poor girl. Misses the big social view." "We'll upgrade them," Vanessa laughed. "Dad says their firm has good basics. Post-wedding, we make changes." I left unseen, thinking it was just snobbery, nothing bad. Our firms partnered. Caldwell's wanted us to thrive. As wedding prep grew, warnings piled up. I offered planning help. Vanessa said no, pros handled it. But she'd call my office for Jason's likes or family bits. He named a old vacation lake with a silly name, she interrupted a key meeting one day. Lake Winnipesaukee, I said. Summers there till Mom sold the place after Jason's college. Perfect. For rehearsal photo slides. Thanks, Eliza. You nail the small stuff. Small stuff are memories, history, shaping moments, turned into her wedding props. I worried more about Dad. He seemed worn out, wincing alone. He dismissed my health questions. Just aging, Liv. No issue. I fretted, spotting hidden pills in his office. Mom downplayed it. Dad's okay. Don't invent troubles. Support your brother's wedding. The gown shopping stood out. Not in the bridal group, small, close friends, Vanessa said, but Mom made me go watch tries. I shifted work to hit the posh city salon, then sat stiff on velvet as her pals jabbed at my outfit. I respect working women without shopping time, one-eyed my plain heels. Bold to skip style. Vanessa smirked in the mirror, in a dress pricier than my rent. The last bit, Jason ditched our monthly dinners, a habit through his chaos. Client overload first, then wedding talks with her folks. Soon, no reasons. 2 months pre-wedding, I got lunch alone with him and shared worries. Things feel off between us, Jace, I said gently. And Dad seems wrong. Notice anything? He sighed, glanced at his watch. You overthink, Liv. Always. Dad's good. Yeah, change happens. Marriage does that. It's deeper. The Caldwells, I doubt they value our Matthews construction build. His face tensed. What do you mean? I heard some troubling talk about changes to our company after the wedding, I said. God, Eliza. Jason shoved his plate aside. Are you seriously starting drama? Jealous much? Jealous? His words stunned me. Of what? You know. I'm happy found someone while your dad's perfect business star. His accusation stung. That's unfair. I've always backed you, even when. Even when what? His tone sharpened. You think you deserve more credit, more power. Well, after the wedding, the Cordwells have plans to elevate Matthews. Dad's on board. He stood, tossing cash for his uneaten food. Maybe figure out if you're a team player, Eliza. Seems you're only happy running the show. Watching him leave, I felt him slipping away, pulled by people eyeing our business as a takeover target. I didn't yet know how true that fear was or how much worse the wedding would be. Jason and Vanessa's wedding day broke clear and flawless, like the Cordwells ordered the weather. The event was at Vineyard Estate, a grand winery owned by Caldwell Properties with mountain views booked years out. I spent extra time dressing, picking a burgundy gown to fit the fall theme without outshining the bridal party. I even got professional hair and makeup, needing the boost despite my nerves. Arriving 3 hours early as asked, Vanessa's wedding planner, a clipboard-wielding woman, sized me up. Good, you're here. Handle the vendors. Wrong dahlias came and the band lost their set list. I'm not staff, I said. I'm the groom's sister. She checked her clipboard. Eliza Matthews? Vanessa said you're great with details, our go-to for last-minute fixes. But I'm supposed to prep with family. Photos start soon. Her smile was tight. Family photos got moved up. Done an hour ago. My heart sank. No one told me. Oversight, I'm sure. Now, those dahlias? I spent 2 hours fixing issues not mine to fix, missing the champagne toast and Dad seeing Jason in his tux. By the time I broke free, guests were seated for the ceremony. There you are, Mom snapped. Where were you? We looked everywhere. No one looked, I said softly. I was stuck with vendor problems my assigned job today. Don't be dramatic, Eliza. Hurry, it's starting. They sent me to the back row, far from Mom and Dad sitting with the Cordwells up front. Jason's college buddy and his wife took my family spot. Catching Jason's eye at the altar, I got a small nod before he turned to the processional. The ceremony was stunning. Vanessa glided in a gown worth more than my yearly pay. Jason glowed with joy. I tried to feel happy for him despite it all. At the cocktail hour, I faced snide remarks from Caldwell relatives about my job. Spreadsheets all day, how thrilling, and my single life, no date? Career women struggle, don't they? I kept smiling, reminding myself it was Jason's day, not for fights. At dinner, I searched for my seat, checking place cards 3 times. No mistake, my name wasn't in the main hall. A waiter spotted me. Eliza Matthews? You're in the kitchen annex. The annex was a side room by the catering kitchen for staff breaks. My place card sat at a lone table with the planner, photographer's assistant, and venue coordinator. I froze, the truth hitting hard. This wasn't a mix-up. It was planned humiliation. Something wrong? Caroline Cordwell's voice dripped with fake sweetness behind me. I turned. I'm seated in the kitchen. Must be a mistake. No mistake, dear. We needed someone near staff to keep things smooth. Vanessa thought you'd be perfect, so managerial. She patted my arm. We all have roles. My role is Jason's sister, his only sibling. Yes, well. She leaned in. Vanessa worried you'd feel out of place at family tables, being single. This lets you slip out for work calls. You're always working, right? Her words burned. They didn't see me as family, but as staff, the help. I found Jason alone briefly. Why am I in the kitchen? He looked uneasy. Liv, don't start. Seating was tricky. Vanessa had a plan. A plan to stick your sister with the staff? Her family's different, he whispered. Image matters. Just go with it today for me. Different how? Too elite to respect your family. You're causing a scene, he snapped. It's my wedding, and I'm your only sister. Handle it, Eliza. Like always. He left for Vanessa. Something broke inside me. My view of Jason and my family role shifted. Alone, watching the party go on without me, Richard Caldwell bumped me, bourbon in hand. The sister, he said, eyeing me like a property deal. Jason says you're a numbers whiz. Don't worry, we'll slot you in after we tweak your little construction firm. Every business needs a bookkeeper, right? I stared. Tweak our company? What does that mean? He laughed, icy and sharp. Richard, please. We're family now. Synergy, restructuring, progress. He patted my shoulder. We look after our own. As he left, I felt eyes on me. Guests noticed, whispers starting, their pity and amusement clear. With all the poise I could manage, I grabbed my purse and coat and left my brother's wedding without a goodbye. As I sped away from Vineyard Estate, my phone lit up with Jason's text. Stop making this about you. 5 words that cemented my place in our family. 5 words that would reshape our future. The week after the wedding blurred by, lost in work and a dull ache. I dove into spreadsheets, finding solace in numbers when everything else felt shaky. At the office, I kept up a calm front, but inside, anger and hurt mixed with suspicion about Richard Caldwell's talk of fixing our company. Friday afternoon, reviewing quarterly reports, I spotted odd transfers, each just under $50,000, sneaky but adding up. 3 hours of digging revealed a tangled trail to a holding company in Jason's name. Over 18 months, $2 million had been funneled from Matthews Construction into Caldwell Properties projects. My hand shook as I printed the proof. This wasn't just wrong, it could be illegal. And it started when Jason began dating Vanessa. I found Dad in his office, looking exhausted. I laid out the records, expecting shock. Instead, he sighed heavily. I wondered when you'd catch this, he said softly. You knew. His betrayal hit hard. Dad, Jason's been stealing from us. It's not stealing if it's our company, he said defensively. Jason needed funds to prove his worth to the Caldwells. So you let him take money I earned through contracts I fought for? It's for our future. The Caldwell tie will lift Matthew's construction higher than we could alone. By robbing ourselves? That's nonsense. He rubbed his face. You focus on profits, Eliza. Business is about relationships, too. The merger with Caldwell Properties. Merger? I cut in. What merger? Guilt flashed across his face. Richard and I have been planning it for months. They've got properties, we've got building skills. And you hid this from me? I'm the CFO. We waited until after the wedding to unite the families. I felt ill. The wedding was a business deal. Don't overreact. It's good for everyone. Jason and Vanessa are happy and this secures the company. And me? Where's my place in this merged company? His gaze dropped. Some roles would consolidate. Richard wants his financial team leading. You're sidelining me. Ice filled my veins. My own family erasing me from the company I built. No one's erasing you. You'd have a role, just less authority. Caroline's smug kitchen comment and Richard's patronizing pat clicked into place. Does Mom know? She backs what strengthens the family. I laughed coldly. Strengthens who? Not me. Eliza, no. I grabbed the papers. I need time to think. But I won't be pushed out without a fight. That night, Jason's 7 missed calls, back early from his Maldives honeymoon for business, went unanswered. Instead, I called Marcus Chen, our loyal accountant. Meet me tonight, I said. Not at the office. 2 hours later, in a quiet coffee shop, I shared my findings. How long have you known about the merger? Marcus shifted. Rumors 4 months ago. Your dad had me run valuations 2 months back, swearing me to secrecy. And Jason's money grabs? Started with Vanessa. Small sums, then bigger. Your dad approved it all. Why keep me in the dark? Your father's CEO. He insisted on silence until post-wedding. I'm sorry, Eliza. What else? He paused. The merger favors Caldwell's. They'd swallow Matthew's construction. Your dad gets a figurehead role, you a consulting gig, no real power. I stayed calm as the truth sank in. They're dismantling what we built. One more thing, Marcus added. Your dad's health. I overheard him with his doctor. Cancer advanced. Treatment talk didn't sound hopeful. The world tilted. Dad was dying, hiding it while selling our company, favoring Jason over me. Thanks, Marcus, I said. Keep this between us. What's your plan? I need to see their full scheme. That night, I snuck into the office with my emergency key. Using Mom's maiden name as Dad's password, I found the merger drafts. Marcus was right, a takeover masked as a merger. Matthew's construction would vanish, a Caldwell subsidiary. Dad got a payout and symbolic board seat. Jason would triple his salary as executive VP. Me? A 1-year consulting deal at half pay, no future guaranteed. In my office alone, I broke. Years of sacrifice, dismissed because I wasn't the charming golden child, just the competent sister. Then my mentor's words echoed. When emotions overwhelm, turn to strategy. Focus on what you know and your leverage. Wiping tears, I reread the Caldwell Properties contract I'd negotiated 3 months ago. A clause I'd fought for sparked an idea. In Section 17, subsection C, I found my weapon, a termination clause I'd fought for. It allowed either party to end the contract with 30 days' notice if there was major restructuring, ownership change, or a merger, needing only the CEO or CFO's signature. As CFO, I could cancel our deal with Caldwell Properties single-handedly. Marcus had hinted they were financially stretched, relying on our construction for their projects. For the first time since the wedding, hope replaced despair. I had power. I was ready to wield it. I've been overlooked and underestimated by my family for years. But staring at that clause, I realized something. When people treat you as invisible, they forget you see their every move. If you've ever found your strength after being undervalued, drop a comment below. How did you handle it? On Monday, I called Patricia Winters, our company lawyer and a trusted ally. I laid out everything: Jason's secret fund transfers, the merger plans sidelining me. She took notes, then said, "So your father and brother planned a merger that cuts you out while funneling company money to Caldwell projects, all behind your back as CFO." Exactly. What are my options? She studied the termination clause. It's airtight, Eliza. You can end the contract alone. But we need to weigh if it's the smartest move. Why? Canceling could hurt the Caldwells, but it might hit Matthew's construction too, short term. We need to know each company's dependency. For 2 days, I dug quietly, avoiding alerting Dad or Jason. I learned Caldwell Properties had pre-sold units in 3 luxury projects starting soon, all needing our expertise. Without us, they'd scramble for a new contractor, likely at a steep cost, if they could find one. Our Caldwell contract was 40% of our business, but our diverse clients meant we could weather its loss with new deals. I also learned Dad's cancer was worse than Marcus thought. His assistant revealed he had 6 months to a year left. The merger was Dad's desperate bid to secure the company before dying, betting on Jason over me. It hurt deeply, but it hardened my resolve. I wouldn't let Dad's choice ruin what we'd built. Next, I secured loyalty from key staff. I'd always fought for their bonuses and promotions, unlike Dad or Jason. Now I needed their support. Sam Torres, our operations head, was direct. "I've been waiting for someone to call this out. I'm in, Eliza." Half the team senses trouble but doesn't know what. Emily Reeves, marketing director, agreed. "The Caldwells treat us like dirt in joint campaigns. If you're pushing back, I'm with you." By Wednesday, most of our executive team and project managers backed me quietly. I also contacted Norton International, a developer Dad had rejected for loyalty to the Caldwells. "We're very interested in partnering," Michael Norton said in a confidential meeting, "especially without certain exclusive deals in place." That evening, Jason appeared in my office, tanned but tense from his shortened honeymoon. "You're dodging my calls," he said, shutting the door. "I'm busy. The running a company isn't easy. We need to talk, Liv, about the wedding, Matthew's future." I nodded to a chair. "Go ahead." As he claimed the wedding seating was a mix-up and hyped the Caldwell merger as a big win, I quietly recorded. Virginia's one-party consent law covered me, and I needed proof. "The industry's changing," Jason said, loosening up. "We need to adapt. Richard's connections give us reach we've never had." "And me." I kept my face neutral. "What's my role?" He paused, then went honest. "There's overlap in finance. Richard's team is elite. So I'm out." "Not out. Consulting role, less daily grind. You'd have time for a personal life, maybe a family." He forced a smile. "Isn't that what you want?" "I want respect for building this company," I said evenly. "Not to be dismissed." "No one's dismissing you, Liv. But sacrifices happen for the bigger picture. Dad won't be here forever." "So you know about his cancer." His shock was real. "How did you?" "I know what affects this company. Like the $2 million you siphoned to Caldwell projects." His face tightened. "That was Dad-approved strategy. Not your concern. I'm CFO. Finances are my concern for now," he shot back, dropping the brotherly act. "Post-merger, things change. Richard and Dad settled it. Get on board with a role that fits you or fight and lose everything." "So my brother threatens me with nothing if I don't obey?" I'm being real. Caldwells are powerful, Liv. The merger's happening with or without you. We'll see. He left, saying, Don't fight this, Eliza. We're trying to ease you out nicely. Don't force the hard way. Thursday, I got a dinner invite from Caroline Caldwell for Saturday. Her email dripped with fake warmth. We're excited to discuss our family's and business's bright future. Richard has great ideas. I accepted politely, seeing my chance to gauge the Caldwell's blind spots. I prepped carefully, backed up company files, detailed Jason's misconduct, drafted the Caldwell contract termination notice, and locked it in my safe. I met board members loyal to Dad, subtly sharing merger impact concerns. Guilt nagged me. I was moving against family, Dad dying, Jason still my brother. Could I break those ties forever? Then I recalled the kitchen table at the wedding, treated as help, not family. Richard's smug promise to fix us. Dad and Jason plotting to erase me without a heads up. Family loyalty runs two ways. They broke it first. On Saturday morning, I gave Jason one last chance. I called and asked to meet before the Caldwell dinner. If you've got any explanation for this mess, I'm ready to hear it, I said. There's nothing to explain, Liv. It's business, not personal. It got personal when I was stuck in the kitchen at your wedding. A long silence. That was Vanessa's call. She thought you'd be more comfortable there, away from the couples. And you let her humiliate me, your sister, and did nothing. I can't control everything, Eliza. Compromise happens. No, Jason. That was betrayal. If that's how you treat family, maybe all we've got left is business. He sighed. Come to dinner tonight. Hear Richard out. Please for Dad, if not me. I agreed, sensing my last chance to back off. But hanging up, I knew they'd made their choice long before I found their plan. That evening, dressing for the Caldwells, I barely recognized my reflection. Calm, resolute, a bit fierce. For the first time, I chose my worth over family peace. No more kitchen tables, I told myself. Never again. Caldwell Properties Showcase dawned bright, ironic for another big Caldwell moment. Their lavish event pitched a luxury development to elite investors, with Matthews Construction billed as their key partner. I reached my office at 6 a.m., 3 hours early. Termination notice waited in a sealed envelope. Through a final check with Patricia, I signed it steadily. No turning back. By 7:30, I'd placed the termination letter on Richard Caldwell's desk at their headquarters. His assistant wasn't in, and security let me pass. I left a copy for their legal team. At 8 o'clock, I called an emergency board meeting for 9 o'clock. As CFO, I could summon one for urgent financial issues, and this qualified. At 8:45, Dad arrived, confused by the gathering team. Eliza, what's this? Why a board meeting? Urgent financial issues, Dad. I found irregularities that need addressing. His face paled. This could have waited. The Caldwell event's today. It can't wait. Trust me. By 9 o'clock, the boardroom held our executives and board. Dad sat at the head, Jason's usual chair empty. I stood ready. Thanks for coming on short notice, I began. I've uncovered threats to Matthews Construction's stability and integrity. I handed out folders, records of Jason's $2 million fund diversions, merger drafts dissolving our independence, and projections showing harm to most in the room. Over 18 months, $2 million was siphoned to Caldwell projects without board or CFO disclosure, I said. Murmurs spread. Dad's face turned gray. Also, a merger with Caldwell Properties would end Matthews Construction as we know it. The most here would be replaced by Caldwell execs, our company just a subsidiary. Eliza, stop, Dad's voice broke. These are delicate talks, not ready for the board. Talks bypassing financial oversight and board approval, I shot back. As CFO, I'm duty-bound to report this. Ellen Wright, a veteran board member, spoke. Thomas, is it true? Funds diverted without approval. Before Dad could answer, Jason burst in, red-faced. What's this, Eliza? The Caldwell event's in an hour and you pull this? I'm presenting your financial misconduct to the board, I said. Ridiculous, he snapped, looking to Dad. Tell them it's authorized. Dad hesitated. The Caldwell investments were strategic, maybe poorly documented, but I approved them. And the merger? Ellen pressed. Replacing most of us? Nothing's final, Dad insisted. Just options. Hidden from me and the board, I said. So today, I acted to protect us. I held up the termination notice. Matthews Construction has ended its Caldwell contract, effective immediately with a 30-day transition. The room exploded in shock. Jason lunged, but Sam Torres blocked him. You can't, Jason yelled. You don't have the power. She does, Patricia stood. Section 17, subsection C grants the CFO or CEO termination rights for major restructuring. Ms. Matthews is within her rights. Chaos erupted, voices overlapping. Dad banged the table for order as the door swung open. Vanessa and Richard Caldwell stormed in. What's this? Richard waved the termination notice. Our showcase starts soon with 200 VIPs expecting our partnership. Vanessa hissed at Jason, fix this. I told you your sister was trouble. You said you had her handled. Everyone sit, I said coolly. Mr. Caldwell, join us. We're discussing unauthorized fund diversions to your projects and a secret merger to dismantle our company. Nothing's unauthorized, Richard barked. Thomas and I planned this for months. Right, Thomas? All eyes hit Dad, who looked frail, his illness clear. Silence fell as he struggled. I wanted to secure the company's future, he said weakly. With my health, I had to plan. By selling us out? Sam asked. Letting Jason embezzle? Not embezzlement, Jason cut in. Investment for our future. He faced the board. The Caldwell link means bigger projects, better margins. At our job's expense, Emily held up the merger draft. Even yours, Jason. You'd be a figurehead VP with no real power. Jason snatched the merger document, his eyes darting over it in confusion. This isn't what we agreed on, he said to Richard. You told me I'd run the construction division. Richard brushed it off. Details, Jason. The Matthews name would live on. As a hollow brand, I cut in. The real Matthews Construction, Dad's legacy, our team's work, would vanish. This is absurd, Richard snapped. We had a deal, Thomas. Without authority. Ellen, our board chair, spoke sharply. No merger was ever presented to this board for approval. Vanessa turned on Jason, her voice rising. You said this was under control. That your sister wouldn't be an issue. Do you know how I'll look when our showcase collapses? No construction partner. Vanessa, calm down, Jason pleaded. We can fix this. Fix it. She laughed coldly. You can't even manage your sister. How will you manage anything? Enough. Dad's quiet voice sliced through the noise. He looked at me, really looked, for the first time that meeting. Eliza, why not come to me first before this drastic step? I did, Dad. Last week. You brushed me off, said I'd be a consultant post-merger to accept it quietly. He looked ashamed. I thought I was protecting you, giving you an easier life. By stripping away my work? That's not protection. It's betrayal. Silence fell. Dad saw me, not just his daughter, but an executive wronged. The kitchen at the wedding, he said softly. Was that true? Yes, I said, holding his gaze. They put me with the staff. Jason knew and did nothing. Dad turned to Jason, stunned. Is that true? Jason shifted uncomfortably. Vanessa handled seating. Not my call. And you allowed it. Your sister with the kitchen staff. It wasn't a big deal, Dad. Eliza's blowing it out of proportion. Dad stood, his face firm with a strength I hadn't seen in years. Mr. Caldwell, my daughter's made her stance clear. Matthew's Construction won't merge with you, nor continue our exclusive contract. You're joking, Richard sputtered. After all our talks, Thomas, be sensible. I'm being sensible finally. Dad faced the board. I move we accept the CFO's termination of the Caldwell contract, effective immediately with a 30-day transition, and investigate the financial irregularities presented. Ellen nodded. I second. All in favor. Unanimous except Jason's abstention. This isn't over, Richard growled as security escorted the Caldwells out. You don't know who you're crossing. I'll ruin this company. You'll be busy explaining to your investors why your showcase is canceled, I said coolly. And why your pre-sold projects have no builder. Vanessa shot Jason a look of contempt. Don't come home tonight or ever. I married a Matthews executive, not a failure. After they left, silence hung heavy. Then Dad did something unexpected. He walked to me and hugged me tightly. I'm so sorry, Eliza, he whispered, voice cracking. I've been so wrong. As the board left us alone, the room felt different, a shift in power, maybe a chance to mend our fractured family. Jason sat, dazed by the collapse of his plans. What now? He asked. I didn't have a full answer yet. The next 48 hours were a whirlwind. The industry buzzed with our contract termination, and Caldwell Properties stock fell 15% by day's end. Their showcase became a vague vision talk, but investors saw through it. Without us, their timelines were worthless. I worked non-stop to stabilize Matthews Construction, reassuring clients and partners. Talks with Norton International sped up, securing favorable terms to replace Caldwell projects. Been waiting years to work with you, Michael Norton said at our signing. Always knew you were the brains here. On the third morning, Mom was in my office, looking worn. How could you? She demanded. Your father's health is worse. The stress might have cost him months. Her words stung as she meant them to. I'm sorry about Dad, truly. But I didn't start this. You shamed our family, ruined Jason's marriage, threw away a deal that secured us all. A deal that erased my role and absorbed our company. They used us, Mom. Used Jason. The merger papers proved it. So your pride tore us apart. It's not pride. It's respect for what we built. Not letting the Caldwells exploit Dad's illness to steal our company. She shook her head. I knew you were driven, Eliza, but not at family's expense. Where was your family concern when I was in the kitchen at Jason's wedding? When did you defend me? She flinched. That was unfortunate, but not worth this. It wasn't just the wedding. The years of being sidelined, my work ignored, Jason credited for my wins. So jealousy. No, Mom. Justice. Saying enough. She left saying, I'm staying with Jason. Your father can handle your fallout alone since he's backing you. Alone, doubt crept in. Had I gone too far? Was Mom right about choosing business over family? My assistant's news snapped me out, anonymous threats against Matthews Construction and an attempted server hack overnight. Weeks brought more hurdles. Jason's loyalists quit. Caldwell-linked subcontractors vanished. Anonymous tips sparked regulatory audits, draining time and resources. I stayed steady at work, but the family rift hurt privately. Dad, against doctor's orders, came to the office briefly each day. His quiet support kept me going, even as his health visibly faded. 6 weeks after the showdown, Jason was a ghost at Matthews Construction. Word around the office was Vanessa had locked him out of their house and he'd checked into a hotel. I didn't reach out. What could I say to bridge that gap? Then an unmarked envelope landed on my desk. Inside, a thumb drive held emails between Richard and Vanessa Caldwell, starting when she met Jason. Their plan was clear. Her relationship was a calculated move to take over our company. Target acquired, Vanessa wrote after their third date. He's eager, flattered, desperate for approval. Easier than we thought. Later emails fretted about me. The sister's a problem, Richard wrote. Questions everything, pushes for protective contract terms. Jason swears he can handle her, but I'm not so sure. The worst was 2 days before the wedding. Once the marriage is done, we speed up. Thomas's health is fading fast. We need merger papers signed while he's able. The sister gets a consulting role for appearances, but she's out in 6 months. I couldn't trace the sender, maybe a Caldwell insider with a conscience. But the emails confirmed my fears. Caldwell's had played us with surgical precision. That evening, Dad called me to the house. I found him alone in his study, surrounded by family photos and company awards, an oxygen tank by his side. "Your mother's still with Jason," he said as I paused in the doorway. "How are you feeling?" I asked, eyeing the tank. "Like a fool," he said with a weak smile. "Sit, Eliza. Please." I took the familiar chair from countless childhood talks. "I've been thinking," he started, "about the company, our family, my mistakes." "Dad, you don't have to." He raised a hand. "I do. I've been unfair to you for years. My old school views blinded me to the truth. You're the one who truly gets what I built." His honesty surprised me. Dad rarely admitted fault. "Why Jason?" I asked, voicing my oldest wound. "Why always him when I was more dedicated, more capable?" He sighed. He reminded me of young me, charm, big dreams, little else. I started this company with a beat-up truck and too much ego. My father didn't believe in me. I swore I'd never do that to my son. "So you did it to me. Not on purpose, but yes." He took my hand. "The irony? You're more like me than Jason, the real me, not the client meeting act. You've got my drive, my focus, my refusal to settle." Tears stung my eyes. "I didn't want to hurt you or the company, Dad. I just couldn't let them take it. I'm proud of you, Eliza." I should have said it more. We sat quietly, years of silence heavy between us. "There's more," he said. "I've changed my will and succession plan. Matthew's construction goes to you when I'm gone. Jason keeps his shares, but you get operational control and majority voting rights." "Dad." "It's done. Lawyers finalized it yesterday." Before I could answer, the front door slammed. "Dad, you hear?" Jason called, appearing in the doorway, looking rough, unshaven, clothes wrinkled, eyes red. "What's she doing here?" he snapped. "I asked her," Dad said calmly. "Good you're here. We all need to talk." "About what?" "Her wrecking my marriage, getting me kicked out, making me a joke in the industry." I slid the email printouts across the table. "Vanessa married you to take our company. Read these, then tell me I ruined your marriage." Jason grabbed them, his anger fading to shock. "This can't be real," he muttered. "She wouldn't." "She did," Dad said softly. "They used you, son. Used us all." Jason slumped onto the couch, deflated. "She's filing for divorce. Says my financial misconduct triggers a prenup clause. Her lawyers want half my company shares." "That won't happen," I said. "Those transfers weren't board approved. We'll fight it in court if needed." He looked at me, resentful but impressed. "You thought of everything, didn't you?" "Not everything. I never wanted to hurt you or Dad. Yet here we are." He stood. "I need air." After he left, Dad and I sat quietly. "He'll come around," he said, "when the pain fades." I nodded, unsure, not wanting to hurt him more. As I left, he grabbed my hand. "Whatever happens with Jason or your mother, I'm sorry, Eliza. I'm proud of who you are, even if I had little to do with it. Driving home, I felt a fragile bond with Dad forming, but the rift with Jason yawned wide. Company was steady, our Norton deal thriving, my worth finally seen. But the win felt empty, shadowed by family loss and Dad's fading time. 3 months later, a young man waited at my office door. "Ms. Matthews, I'm Michael Caldwell, Vanessa's brother." I stiffened, expecting another Caldwell trap. "How'd you get in?" "Your assistant." I said it was urgent. He gestured to a chair. "5 minutes, please." Reluctantly, I let him in. Unlike his father and sister's slick confidence, Michael seemed nervous, fidgeting with his watch. "I'll be straight," he said. "Caldwell Properties is in deep trouble, worse than anyone outside knows." "Why tell me?" "I think you deserve to know." The Matthews takeover wasn't just ambition, it was survival. Dad overextended on 3 projects, banking on your merger for construction and funds. I watched him closely. "What's your real reason here?" He sighed, raking his hair. "I'm sick of my family's games. I've watched Dad and Vanessa manipulate people my whole life. They kept me on the edges of the business because I questioned their tactics." "So, this is revenge," I said, my voice sharp with doubt. "No, maybe atonement," Michael replied. He set a flash drive on my desk. "This has Caldwell Properties' financial projections, partnerships, and loans. They're facing bankruptcy in 6 months without a cheap construction partner." I didn't touch it. Why trust a Caldwell? I'm not like them. I've got no reason to lie. I'm the family letdown, chose environmental design over finance, questioned our shady developments. I think business shouldn't always screw people over. His frustration felt real, softening my guard. "If I buy this, what do you want me to do with it?" "Your call." "Use it, ignore it. I just wanted you to know the truth." As he stood to leave, he added, "I was sickened by the wedding seating. Vanessa's idea, Dad's approval. They thought humiliating you would make you easier to push out post-merger." "Why are you here, Michael?" I asked as he reached the door. He paused. "I saw someone beat my family." "That's new." It made me think things could change. After he left, I had IT verify the drive. Michael was right. Caldwell Properties was crumbling, Richard's bad personal investments bleeding them dry. The Matthews takeover was their survival Hail Mary. My assistant burst in with news. Dad had collapsed and was in the hospital. The hospital, Mom and Jason stood on opposite sides of the waiting room, ignoring me. The doctor's arrival forced a tense truce. "Mr. Matthews has declined significantly," she said gently. "The cancers spread faster than expected. He's stable now, but we're talking weeks, not months." Mom sobbed. Jason turned away, rigid. I thanked the doctor and asked when we could see Dad. "He wants you all together," she said. We entered his room in silence. Dad looked small, hooked to machines, and my chest tightened at the sight. "Finally," he whispered, smiling faintly. "My family together." Mom rushed to him, stroking his hair with rare tenderness. Jason lingered by the door. I stood opposite. "No more fighting," Dad said softly. "Life's too short." "I know that now." "Thomas, don't," Mom pleaded. "Save your strength." "For what?" "To pretend we're not broken?" He looked at us. "I can't afford pretense anymore." To Jason, "Son, I failed you, making life too easy, never pushing you beyond charm. I thought I was helping, but I held you back. I'm proud of your heart, your care for people, like visiting old Mr. Henderson weekly. That's your gift, not deals. I should have nurtured it." Jason looked gutted. "Dad, you don't." "Let me finish." To me, "Eliza, I've said it, but your mother needs to hear. You saved our company from the Caldwells and my bad calls. I took credit for your work too long. The Matthews would have collapsed without you." To Mom, "Margaret, I love you, but you favored Jason from birth. It cost Eliza and Jason by never demanding his best." Mom cried harder. Thomas, not now. It's exactly now, he insisted. Don't ignore the hurt. Decide if this family's worth saving. I won't be here to hold it together. His words hung heavy, the monitor's beeps deafening. Promise me, he said. All of you, try to find a way forward. We nodded, murmuring agreement. With Dad fading, anything else felt impossible. As visiting hours ended, William Carter, Dad's oldest friend, arrived. Heard about you, Thomas, he said, hugging us briefly. Always dramatic. Dad laughed, a sound that broke my heart. Bad timing, Bill. They're kicking everyone out. I've got pull with the nurse, William said. Go rest, you three. I'll stay with this troublemaker. In the parking lot, silence fell. I'm staying at the house, Mom said, avoiding my eyes. In case the hospital calls. I'll stay too, Jason added. I'll come by morning, I said, knowing we needed space. Call if anything changes. At home, Michael Caldwell waited in my lobby, looking rattled. I heard about your dad. I'm sorry. But there's more. My father's suing Matthews Construction tomorrow, breach of contract, fraud, you name it. It's baseless, but he's desperate. How do you know? Overheard him with his lawyers. He's selling personal assets to fund it. Michael paused. Also, your brother called Vanessa tonight. Jason called her? I was stunned. Yeah, emotional, mentioned your dad's condition. Vanessa told our father. They're speeding up, using your family's crisis. Anger flared at the Caldwells, at Jason's blindness. Why help us? You're risking a lot. My family's destroyed people my whole life. I stayed quiet, thought it wasn't my fight. But what they did, what they're still doing, I can't stay silent. I searched for deceit but found only sincerity. What do you want? Nothing. Maybe a chance to work somewhere that doesn't demand your soul. Next morning, I arrived at my parents' house early. Jason sat alone in the kitchen, staring at coffee. Mom's getting ready, he said, eyes down. Hospital called. Dad had a rough night. I poured coffee, leaning against the counter, avoiding the table. I heard you called Vanessa last night. Jason's head jerked up. How do you? Doesn't matter. What matters is Richard Caldwell was on the phone with his lawyers right after, planning to sue us today. They're using Dad's condition against us, Jason. Still. He slammed his cup down, coffee spilling. I didn't talk company with her. I just needed to talk. She was my wife. And you thought she wouldn't use it? After everything we know? She was my wife, Eliza, for 6 weeks. I thought I loved her. His voice broke. I don't know what was real. I softened, seeing his pain. Caldwell's had played him perfectly, targeting every weakness. Her feelings weren't real, I said gently. The emails prove it. But your feelings were. You're allowed to mourn that. He looked at me, his expression unreadable. How are you not breaking? Dad's dying, the company's under fire, our family's a mess. Yet you're still you, always ahead. I'm barely hanging on, I admitted. I'm just good at boxing things up. Like at the wedding, he said. That kitchen table, you walked out head high. I saw you leave. I told myself you were overreacting. But I was ashamed of myself for letting it happen. His honesty stunned me. Before I could reply, Mom appeared, dressed perfectly despite everything. We should go. The doctor wants us. The hospital, the news hit hard. Dad had worsened overnight. The doctor spoke of comfort and goodbyes, her words soft but final. In Dad's room, William Carter was still there, looking like he'd stayed all night. He stood as we entered, hugging Mom gently. I'll give you privacy, he said. No, Dad rasped, weaker but firm. Stay, Bill. Your family. William sat as we gathered around. Dad's breathing was rough, but his eyes were clear. I don't have long, he said. Listen. Matthews Construction isn't just a company, it's my legacy. But it's nothing without you to carry it. To me, Eliza, you've got the vision and strength to lead. But success means nothing alone. To Jason, son, your gift is connecting with people, not deals. Don't waste it trying to be what you're not. Find your path. To Mom, Margaret, they're both your kids. When I'm gone, they'll need you to love them equally, even when it's hard. He closed his eyes, exhausted. One last thing. There's a letter in my desk, bottom right drawer. Read it together. Promise. We nodded, choked with emotion. 4 hours we sat as Dad faded in and out. William shared stories of Dad's early construction days, making us laugh through tears with tales of epic fails and hard lessons. When Mom and William stepped out and Jason grabbed coffee, Dad called me close. The Caldwells, he whispered. Be careful. Richard plays long games. I know, Dad. We're ready. Not just legally. He'll divide you. Jason's weak. Your mother, too. I'll protect them, I vowed. And you. His grip tightened faintly. I'm sorry for not seeing you. I know, Dad. It's okay. No, he said. But you're strong enough to forgive. That's what makes you extraordinary. When Jason returned, Dad asked for a private moment. Through the window, I saw Jason sob as Dad spoke with urgency. Whatever passed changed Jason. He emerged red-eyed but steadier. That evening, surrounded by us, Dad took his last breath. Mom's soft cries and the machine's final hum filled the silence. We moved through funeral plans, the obituary, and visitors' condolences. Richard's lawsuit hit, but Dad's legacy as a beloved employer drew nearly 1,000 mourners, overshadowing it. 3 days post-funeral, we gathered in Dad's study for his letter. Mom, hands shaking, read aloud from his chair. My dear family, she began. If you're watching this, I'm gone. Words never came easy, but maybe writing can say what I couldn't. Margaret, my love for 42 years, you've been my star. But protecting Jason cost Eliza, and Jason by not pushing him. Find balance now. Jason, I gave you too much without earning it, stunting your potential. It's not too late. Find what you love, do it for you, not approval. Eliza, you worked twice as hard for half the credit, my fault. Yet you made Matthews Construction what it is. Trust your strength, but vulnerability isn't weakness, it's human. The company will face trials. Caldwell's won't stop. Stand together. Business matters, but family's irreplaceable. Forgiveness isn't forgetting or pretending. It's moving forward free of the past. Forgive each other, yourselves, even those who hurt you, for your peace. With all my love, Thomas. Silence followed. Then Jason spoke. I'm moving back home, Mom, if that's okay. I need to figure things out. Of course, she said. This is your home. He turned to me. I want to return to the company, not as VP. I didn't earn it. But I want to contribute, start fresh. I saw new humility in him. We need help with client relations, real connections, checking on projects, listening to clients. I'd like that, he said softly. Mom cleared her throat. Eliza, I owe you apologies. Many. Mom, you don't. I do. Your father was right. I favored Jason, excused him, held you to impossible standards. I was wrong. Let me do better if you'll allow it. It wasn't perfect healing, too much pain lingered. But it was a start, a crack where mending might grow. The next day, Michael Caldwell returned with a bold move. I quit Caldwell Properties this morning, he said. Dad's livid, calls it betrayal. What's next for you? I asked. That's why I'm here. I've got experience in sustainable design and marketing. Any chance Matthews Construction could use those skills? The irony hit hard, hiring a Caldwell after their takeover attempt. But Michael had proven his loyalty when it counted. We're growing our green building focus, I said. Your expertise could help us stand out. His eyes lit up. You trust me after what my family did? You're not them, Michael. You've shown that. I offered my hand. Send me your resume. We'll make it official. As he left, I felt a twist of poetic justice. Caldwell's tried to sneak in through Jason. Now we'd welcomed one who rejected their games. Richard's lawsuit fizzled out, costing both sides time and money. As Michael predicted, Caldwell Properties went bankrupt within 6 months. Richard sold control to investors who ousted him as CEO. Vanessa, her marriage and status gone, fled to the West Coast for a fresh start. Gossip said Jason got divorce papers on their would-be 3-month anniversary. Matthews Construction didn't just survive, we soared. Our Norton International deal opened bigger projects, and our ethical reputation drew eager clients. Jason thrived in client relations, his empathy shining without the pressure to be a corporate star. Mom poured herself into our charitable foundation, honoring Dad's legacy. I learned leadership didn't mean going it alone. Trusting others, even those who'd hurt me, could bring surprises. A year after Dad's death, we held a private memorial, wounds still raw but healing. We'd chosen to move forward as he'd hoped. On the anniversary, we hosted the Thomas Matthews Memorial Scholarship Benefit, funding young people in construction trades. Cedar Heights Hotel's ballroom buzzed with industry leaders, locals, and employees honoring Dad. From the podium, I looked out, pride mixing with grief. Dad believed success was for sharing, I said. He built Matthews Construction as a family. Tonight, we grow that family, opening doors for new builders and dreamers. Mom sat at our table, softer now, her old perfectionism fading. Jason, beside her, had rebuilt himself, bringing care to client work. Our company was stronger, our Norton partnership expanding, and Michael's sustainability push, now a key team member, made us industry leaders. Post-speech, an investment banker, Mr. Donovan, approached. Great event, Ms. Matthews. Matthews Construction's growth has caught eyes. I represent Westfield Development. They're interested in an acquisition. Big numbers. I smiled. Flattering, but we're not for sale. Everyone's got a price, he pressed. Westfield values your legacy. Let's talk over lunch. The Matthews name is a promise to our team, clients, community. Not for sale, Mr. Donovan. As he left, disappointed, Jason joined me with champagne. Another buyout offer? Third this month. I sipped, savoring the moment. They don't quit. Can't blame them. We're killing it. His grin held new depth. But we're family, not for sale. I nodded toward Michael, awkward in his suit. Still weird seeing a Caldwell on our side. He's earned it, Jason said. Sustainability brought 6 new clients this quarter. Mom waved Michael over, a sight unimaginable a year ago. She's changed, Jason noted. We all have, I said. Hopefully for the better. He faced me. Definitely for me. I never properly thanked you, Liv, for stopping me, for giving me a second chance I didn't earn, for seeing who I could be. That's what family does, I said. Or should. The memorial display, I froze. Vanessa Caldwell, in an event staff uniform, studied a photo of Dad's first project. She turned, startled. Eliza, I didn't know this was your event. It's the Thomas Matthews benefit, I said dryly. The name didn't tip you off? She flushed. I'm just working. I needed the job. The woman who'd banished me to the kitchen table now served drinks at my event. Felt like storybook karma, but she looked broken, not evil. How's your father? I asked. In Arizona, starting over, she said. Without me. I was part of the failure. Catering jobs now? And others. My skills don't translate to real work. She glanced at me, then away. I bet you're loving this. I weighed Vanessa's question. A year ago, her downfall might have satisfied me. Now I felt no joy in it. No, I said honestly. I'm not enjoying this. I never wanted to destroy anyone, Vanessa. I just needed to protect what's mine. She nodded slowly. You were smarter than we thought. A catering manager called her away. I should work, she said. As she turned, I made a choice. Vanessa, Michael's here tonight leading our sustainability work. You might want to say hi. She looked stunned. He's speaking to me after everything? Family's complicated, I said. But it's still family. Later, by the ballroom's windows, I gazed at the city skyline, reflecting on the year. Company thrived, Jason and I were true partners, and Mom and I had found fragile peace, valuing our differences. Penny for your thoughts, Michael Caldwell said, offering coffee. Just reflecting, I said, taking the cup. It's been a year. Understatement. He glanced back. I saw Vanessa. Thanks for that. Did you talk? A little. It's a start. He paused. She's struggling. Dad cut her off when the company tanked. Harsh, since she followed his lead. That's Richard. Success is everything. He shook his head. I chased his approval forever, then realized it wasn't worth it. His words hit home. I'd spent years seeking my parents' approval, only finding it late, too late with Dad. That banker's pitch, Michael said, sounded serious. It was. But some things aren't for sale. As the event ended, I stood with Mom and Jason by Dad's photo display. Once fractured, we now stood together, healing. He'd have loved this, Mom said softly. The company's strong, us together. The scholarship was smart, Liv, Jason added. Practical, meaningful. You. In silence, we honored Dad's memory. I've got something to show you, I said, leading them to the rooftop terrace. The city sparkled below, and our newest project, a sustainable mixed-use development with housing and green spaces, stood out. The Thomas Matthews Community Center, I said. Opening next month. Our first under the new partnership model. Mom's eyes welled up. It's beautiful, Eliza. It's more, Jason said. It's meaningful, Dad's true legacy. Gazing at the building, I felt closure. Kitchen table humiliation, once searing, was just the spark for needed change. Matthew's construction wasn't just surviving, it was better. Our family wasn't just coexisting, we were seeing each other. I wasn't just succeeding, I'd found balance beyond work. The revenge, terminating the Caldwell contract, wasn't about punishment. It was about protecting our company, employees, legacy, and my worth. Standing up for yourself isn't always about making others pay. It's about refusing less than you deserve.